Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode 102. Hope you're having a great weekend so far on this last weekend of June. And with 4th of July coming up next week, maybe you're planning a road trip. Well, I hope you make the most of it, whatever you do. Well, we have a fantastic Tech It Out plan for you this hour. We're going to speak with Netflix in a minute to learn about its recommended TVs for 2019 and what criteria they use to choose those. We're going to talk with Ekster about its smart wallets. Yes, smart wallets. We'll learn what that's all about. Schlage will stop by to talk home security and high-tech door locks. And we'll talk with ExpressVPN about why you should not browse the web without a VPN. All right, let's kick things off. Hey, who doesn't love Netflix? While you may be well aware of the popular video streaming service, you might not know as much about Netflix recommended TVs. It's a logo program the company launched in 2015 to recognize smart TVs that provide a superior experience for Netflix and for other internet TV content in general. Joining us to talk 2019 recommended TVs, we've got Brady Gunderson. He is the Director of Partner Product at Netflix. He's on the line. Welcome to the show, Brady.
Hey, how are you?
Thanks for carving out some time to chat. I know this is a busy time for Netflix. Before we talk about the Netflix-enabled or recommended TVs to watch Netflix, tell us, what do you think makes Netflix such a popular video streaming service?
Yeah, great question. I think it's the combination of great content that's we have something for everyone. There's always something new on the service. And then a product that helps connect people with that content in a really easy to use, it just works, I don't have to think about it kind of way.
Yeah, it is pretty magical. It works on several devices. You just log on and remembers where you left off. I love the recommended content. I mean, it's just so convenient. What would you say, Brady, is your favorite feature of Netflix overall?
My favorite feature is probably profiles, because a little bit to the comments you made around the power of recommendations. The best way for that to happen is to happen in the context of your profile. So at my household, there's 5 of us. There's me, my wife, 3 kids. We all like each other, but we don't necessarily like the same content. And so in order for me to get those great recommendations to learn about something new, it's important that I'm watching on my profile, not my kids, and vice versa. So for me, profile seems simple, seems boring, but that's what makes personalization so great.
That's very true. So I'm a fan of horror and sci-fi flicks and TV shows. And so just this morning, Brady, I got an email from Netflix saying, hey, Mark, we just launched something new that you might like, obviously based on my profile out of our family of 5. So I really like that. It's a really great way to keep that service so sticky. So let's now chat about Netflix's 2019 recommended TVs that was announced last week. Do these all have an integrated Netflix app? And how do you determine what are the best TVs to watch Netflix?
So anytime you see Netflix on a device, it means that there's an integrated Netflix app. It means we have a partnership with that device maker, and it means we've gone through a bunch of testing and certification to make sure that this device works well enough that we're comfortable saying it has Netflix and having them put Netflix on the box. Mm-hmm. Netflix recommended TV is kind of a higher bar. You could think of it as extra credit. These are things that meet an additional set of criteria or performance thresholds, basically to say they work better across a number of things that we know to be important for Netflix users, but are not something we could necessarily require of all devices that have Netflix.
My readers will write me saying, hey, I have an older smart TV, and if I try to watch Netflix or maybe YouTube, it stutters quite a bit. So I often say, well, then just go ahead and buy an inexpensive streaming stick or other kind of media player like a Roku or a Fire TV stick or Apple TV, something like that. But I think the newer TVs can handle streaming a lot better. They have a better Wi-Fi technology in these TVs. So what then elevates it to the next level to be, a truly recommended TV by Netflix? What are some of the criteria that you look at? I think there's 7 different ones, right?
Yeah, so over the years, we've evolved the criteria to basically reflect things that we know would make a superior experience based on what technology and devices are capable of in any given year. At the beginning, when we started the program, that was a lot about just making sure that a smart TV was actually smart. You'd go and buy a TV, it had an amazing picture quality, it was at a not low price point, it would come from a loved and trusted brand, but the actual kind of internet TV experience felt sort of bolted on. Mm-hmm. And what that meant is if you bought a TV and wanted to use it for internet TV, which a lot of people did, the getting to apps that you use like Netflix could take over a minute. It would take about 20 seconds for the Wi-Fi to boot up, maybe another 20 seconds to figure out how to get to an app menu or internet TV menu. And then in order for that app to launch, that streaming service to launch, it would take another several seconds still. And so for the first couple of years, it was about making Netflix feel really integrated so that you're getting all the benefits of live TV, which is really just that it comes on instantly, along with all the benefits we talked about earlier, that it's a personalized experience, watch on your schedule, a richer user interface, and all that kind of stuff. More recently, we continue to focus on those dimensions of performance and reliability, but also think about how as the Netflix is making more and more new content, we're trying to make sure that we're coming up with compelling ways for people to discover whether content is the right piece of content for them. And so that in order to do that, our user interface is getting much more oriented around showing video in the UI and making sure that that's a really seamless experience and a really crisp experience. Mm-hmm. Going forward, we'll be exploring more around interactive content, and that's something that we'll have an eye on. So it's really thinking about where our product can go and making sure that the device is sort of future-proof to address those things in the future so that your device works well, just as well 2 years later as the day you bought it.
Speaking of interactive content, I love the Black Mirror Bandersnatch episode where it's kind of like a choose your own adventure kind of thing. So that was fantastic on Netflix a couple of months back, and a couple of new Black Mirror episodes just dropped for season 5 on Netflix as well. Not as many as I had hoped, only 3. So I'm hoping Netflix is going to deliver a few more. We're chatting with Brady Gunderson. He's the director of partner product at Netflix. We're talking about the 2019 recommended TVs, these recommended televisions to really deliver a superior Netflix experience. You know, as silly as it sounds, a little thing like having a Netflix button on the TV remote, I think goes a long way, especially for like my mom, for example. I recently bought my parents a smart TV, and she loves that there is a dedicated hardware button on the remote that says Netflix with the logo she knows, and that is a quick, easy way to access her content. Does that fall anywhere in the 7 criteria, like the remote? I know UI or user interface is part of it.
Yeah, so one of our principles is around easy access. And as you mentioned, the button is a great way to do that when you know you want to watch Netflix. Right. Sometimes people want to turn on the TV, poke around for a while and figure out what they want. Maybe it's Netflix, maybe it's something else. But if you know that's what you want, then you can press that even when the device is off, and it'll go straight to Netflix and you get started as easy as possible. So that's one of the criteria because it enables that accessibility piece.
Before I ask you to recommend a couple of TVs by brand, tell us a bit more about the inclusion of the Always Fresh feature.
Yeah, so that's one of the new features for 2019. And the basic thinking behind it is there are 2 things that we know are valuable, but they kind of come with a bit of a trade-off. One is we know people want things to work as quick as possible. That's not a surprise. And then we also know that as Netflix is introducing more and more new content and sometimes new features, that your experience would actually be different from one day to the next. But updating that user experience, especially if you have multiple profiles in the household, that can come with a wait time. Mm-hmm. Always Fresh is designed to remove that trade-off between waiting and the trade-off between getting something instant and getting something that's refreshed. And so it does the refreshing in the background so that by the time you're using Netflix, there's no waiting and you're still getting the latest, greatest. This is something that we actually tested before making one of the criteria. Anything we do requires an investment from us, but also from the partner. And so what we did, instead of just rolling out the feature, we initially gave it to half the people on a device and didn't give it to the other half of the people to run what we call an A/B test. And in doing that, we were trying to answer 2 questions. One is, did it have the expected performance benefit, which we thought it would, but you never know. And then secondly, and maybe more interestingly, is did people care? Sometimes something is good enough and making it better doesn't make a difference. And so we wanted to answer that question as well. we tested it, and we actually found out that it had the expected performance benefit. Not a shocker, but good to know. But more interestingly, that actually people watched more content when that Always Fresh feature was enabled. So that gave us the confidence that it was something to make a criteria.
Yeah, thanks for peeling back the curtain a little bit and telling us how you test and iterate on new features that are to be introduced. Again, we're chatting with Brady from Netflix. Now, without further ado, for those who aren't driving and listening to this program or podcast, and they want to jot down some recommended TVs, can you give us a couple that bubbled to the top of the list?
Yeah, so the designations so far for 2019 are devices that come from 3 brands. We don't know what they are at the beginning of the year or when we do the testing. It's an independent evaluation program, so we're never really sure until we've tested. But now that we've done the testing, it's devices from Samsung, Sony, and Panasonic that achieved the designation for Netflix Recommended TV 2019. And there's a more detailed list that you can go to by going to netflix.com/recommended TV.
Okay. Yeah. Because I know there's certain models, of course, for each of those 3 brands. So netflix.com/recommended TV, not TVs with an S, but TV. That's it. Recommended TV. And then you could see a detailed list of the recommended televisions by Netflix in 2019.
You got it. And that list is actually localized per region. So if you're in one country or a different country, you'll see the available models in that country.
Cool. Great. Brady Gunderson, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Thanks. Have a great summer.
Thank you. Nice to be with you.
This show, Tech It Out, is powered by ASUS. Thank you for your support. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. Visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out. Stay with us. You're listening to the Radio America Network.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. You've heard of smartphones, smart homes, smartwatches, and so on. But what about a smart wallet? Well, one company has been selling them for a couple of years now, called the Ekster Smart Wallet. That's EKSTER. And now they've got a new one to share with us. Joining us on the line all the way from Amsterdam in the Netherlands is Oliver Mama. He is the founder of Ekster. Welcome, Oliver.
Thanks for having us, Mark.
Now, before we talk about Ekster 3.0, please tell us about your smart wallets as a whole. What do they do exactly?
So we have a collection of products, some of which are smart wallets. These wallets are known for their trackability feature. So whenever you lose your wallet, you're able to track it with your iPhone or whatever phone you use. You're able to call it, you're able to locate it on a map, and it has a couple of other cool features, which we'll talk about later.
Right, and I know you're launching this Ekster 3.0 right now, but the premise behind your smart wallets, or what makes them smart rather, is a couple of things, one of which is that you're able to track it should you lose it. Does it use GPS? Is it Bluetooth, so it has to be near you? How exactly can you find it on a map or nearby?
I think the best way to explain it is it's a worldwide lost and found system. So when it's close, when it's in range of about 200 feet, you can directly track it with your phone through Bluetooth. However, if it's outside of that range, then you can use the worldwide crowd GPS lost and found system to use other people on the network to find it and locate it on the map.
All right, I got it. And obviously it's battery operated if it's emitting some sort of signal. So how long could that last? Like, let's say your wallet was lost and nobody has charged it up again, presuming they don't know it's a smart wallet. What's your window of time here?
So the tracker is actually solar powered. It doesn't require any direct charging through cables or batteries. And the nice thing about this solar panel is that it's so efficient that it only requires about 2 hours of charge to last 3 months. We're still testing it, and we haven't charged it for over 4 months now. So the battery lasts ages, and it doesn't need direct sunlight. So it can actually be fast, like supercharged with your flashlight from your phone.
Wow. Okay. Now, because it has GPS, Bluetooth, a solar panel, and an integrated battery in order to store that energy, are we talking about a massive wallet here? Does it look like George Costanza's from Seinfeld? I'm not sure if you're familiar with Seinfeld. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's actually the other cool part about this wallet. So we really tried to approach it in a way that we wanted to modernize the way that people use the products in their pockets. So we started with looking at the wallet as a whole. How do we minimize the footprint of this thing? Like, how do you get it as small as possible? And how do you access your cards as quickly as possible in such a slim wallet? So what we did is we took out all the unnecessary layers, made it as slim as possible, and integrated a system where you only have to click one button to access your 6 most important cards.
Cool. So it's not massive. It's not bigger than any other wallet.
No, it's actually super slim, and that's the power of this product.
And I'm assuming it's durable enough that if it's in your back pocket, if you're a guy, you've got it in the back of your jeans, you sit down somewhere, it's not going to damage any of the smarts to it. No, so the core of the wallet is actually an aluminum casing, or aluminum, as you guys would say, and it can withstand any weight, so it does hold up. Awesome, Oliver. Okay, now let's talk about Ekster 3.0. What makes this new one unique?
Yeah, so to quickly dive into the features again, as you know now, the wallet is traceable. We've added a cool feature which allows you to voice command your wallet and actually find it through Alexa, Siri, or Google Home. So you no longer even have to get off the couch to find your wallet. It's pretty simple.
Walk us through what that would sound like. Like, what would you do? You notice your wallet is gone. You're looking around the house. So what do you say?
And then you literally just say, Alexa, ring my Ekster, or Alexa, ring my wallet, depending on how you put the settings in.
Right. Wow. And then it does emit a sound from the wallet?
It emits a ringing sound, and it also allows you to locate it on the map on your phone.
Wow. Very cool. Even indoors, the map on
indoors. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So it has all the features as its predecessors, but now you've added voice support.
Yeah. So that's one of the cool features. So we've actually expanded the collection to about 7 more colors, a new Italian collection, and we've significantly improved the cardholder system, which allows you to even have quicker access to your cards. The cards pop out further, and the overall wallet is streamlined and slimmer.
Is this a crowdfunded campaign like Kickstarter? Is that how you're raising money?
So the crowdfunding has actually already been completed. We are currently selling on our website, Ekster.com. And we're also available in stores. So we're available at Macy's, Hudson Yards, a couple cool stores in LA, New York. So we're all over the country.
Before I ask you about pricing, what's your favorite feature of the wallet?
I think at the moment, and it's quite a hilarious feature, but we've added this small thing to the tracker where you allow it to work as a remote control for group selfies. So you can literally place your phone away quite far from a group and use the tracker as a remote.
What, you press that button on the wallet in order to take a picture?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
so you just literally place it as far as you want, and you can get the whole group in the photo.
That's great. All right. How much does Ekster 3.0 cost?
So it ranges, actually. So we have a couple of different models. It ranges between $60 and $109 at the moment. Available both on the website and on Amazon.
And that's US dollars?
Yeah.
And again, what's the website for Ekster?
It's Ekster.com. So it's EKSTER.com.
All right. Oliver Mama, congratulations. This sounds really great. I'd love to see it in person one day. Thanks for your time.
Thank you too, Mark. Appreciate it.
We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone, to Tech It Out. Hope you're having a great start to the summer weekend. Smart home tech is super hot. But why do you think that is? According to Lee Odess, vice president at Schlage, consumers want simplified solutions that are affordable, versatile, and compatible with the likes of Amazon and Google. Lee is joining us on the line now to tell us about Schlage, the smart lock and door hardware brand that you know. Welcome to the show, Lee.
Hi, thank you very much.
Sure. So why don't we start with you giving us a bit of background on Schlage. I understand the company is going to celebrate its 100th birthday next year. Is that right?
We are. Yes, we're very excited. So really close to 100 years of technology and manufacturing, and pretty excited about it. Yes.
So you started off essentially creating, what is it, locks and deadbolts for doors for residences and businesses, and then you've sort of evolved from there.
Yes, we have.
All right, so let's talk about smart home products. I don't know if people associate Schlage with some of the more high-tech solutions you've got. So what does Schlage have for 2019?
Sure. So for Schlage, we have a bunch of different products, depending on styles and finishes and the different door type that you might have. But something new and exciting that we recently launched is the Schlage Encode Smart Wi-Fi Deadbolt. And just like it sounds, it's a Wi-Fi deadbolt. And what's great about that is that you don't need an extra adapter or box for that. It just connects right up to the Wi-Fi that you have in your house, and you can have all the same benefits and features that you do or are looking for. Things like sending keys and notifications and understanding who's come and gone from the house, as well as you can integrate it, and it's compatible with things like Key by Amazon and Ring, or you can work it directly with the app that Schlage has itself. So pretty straightforward. On that end, we also have, again, depending on what your flavor is, we have like the Schlage's Sense Lock, which works with HomeKit. We also have one that is the Schlage Connect, which that works with most of the Zigbee and Z-Wave type certified products that are in the marketplace. Or if you're looking for just a straightforward connected keypad, we have that product as well. So as you can see, full breadth and depth of products, depending on what the use cases that you have.
All right, so going back to the Wi-Fi deadbolt, so the three benefits there, the three primary benefits are that you don't need a mechanical key to enter your door. I guess it identifies you with something you've got on you, like a smartphone or some other identifier. Is that right?
It does utilize the phone, yes.
Okay. And then the second advantage is the ability to send an e-key, a virtual key, to a friend who maybe says, "Hey, Lee, I'm by your place. Can I come into your house to use your bathroom?" Or Amazon calls you and says, "We're a courier. We're at your door," and you can see through your Ring video doorbell that it is, in fact, an Amazon driver. So you let them in remotely. And then the third benefit is having on the app, I guess, a detailed look at who has opened the door based on their device. So you can see that your teenage son opened it at 7 p.m. and then maybe your partner opened it at 9 p.m. That's all documented. Is that right?
It is, yeah. So notifications is a somewhat underappreciated but overly used, if you would, benefit of a smart lock. Just having the awareness of who's come and gone and who is at your door, and it's definitely a great benefit of the products.
As a father of 3 teenagers, I welcome this technology. So you've got other solutions as well, but I think the obvious question is, okay, what happens if the Wi-Fi goes down? There is an option for a mechanical key that you may have in your vehicle or in your wallet or something. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So redundancy is there. So not only is the Wi-Fi down, you can use a key, but there's also a keypad on it. So if you don't have a key, you can get in. So there's multiple ways that you can access the door, depending on what you're looking for too. If you say go for a run and you don't have your phone on you, you can come to the door and use the keypad to get in. And when all fails, if you want, you can use the old key that still works there, yes.
What if, hypothetically, your phone is lost, and even though the odds are so slim that someone would not only find it, or steal it, and then actually go to your residence, is there a way that you can prevent someone from entering your home if you lost your phone?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways. So first off, we recommend the multi-factor authentication, they call it. So the ability to use your thumbprint when you go to the app, and some of the other features that you do anyways now, right? So you have those. You also can go into, say you were to lose your phone, you can log in online. And you can change things so that if somebody did have it, you would know that you could turn it off, that they would have the ability to do that. So there's preventative ways to protecting you that actually are far, I would say, more advanced than what happens if you lose your keys now.
Yeah,
the old analog ones, if you would.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Right. So with this, you have a little bit more control.
We're chatting with Lee Odess. He's a VP at Schlage. That's Schlage. You know the brand. And how long have you been in this space? And what is your best-selling product?
So we've been in the smart home for a long time. We were pioneering early on. Don't know the exact year, but it's got to be, it's 10 plus years. Because keep in mind, we're part of a much larger organization called Allegiant that owns 30-some brands all over the world. both in the commercial and consumer side. So we've been doing this for a very long time. On the side of our best-selling lock that we have, it really depends. If you look at the Connect lock, that's very popular because of the Z-Wave Zigbee, but then the Sense lock's been great for us as well from the HomeKit side. So the good part of our business is we've been quite successful with the adoption of the smart locks, and it really comes down to what you're looking for, and we're happy to have all the different flavors.
If someone asked you what the key differences would be between your product lineup and the August or the Kivo brand of smart locks, what would you say?
Sure. I would start with the legacy of the organization. Born out of the old mechanical business, so we understand the security and safety side. Sort of that brand promise that you get from us, that we've been around for, like you said, close to 100 years at this point. So it's not necessarily a gadget company. We are a safety security company. We're securing people where they live, they work, and they thrive. And on top of that, we layer in the technology side. So I would say it's the mindfulness of the product. And really, you get what we've been delivering to you for 100 years, which is a very, very good product that you can count on. Also that breadth that I talked about. So as you say you start off in an apartment and you move into your own home, you could take that brand with you. We have different products and that fit all those different verticals, and you become, I would say, you don't want to necessarily put something on the front of your house and you have to worry about. And with ours, you don't have to.
Great. Lee, where could we learn more about this product lineup?
If you go to our website, it's typically the best place, and it's Schlage, SCHLAGE.com.
All right, Lee, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it. Have a great summer.
Thank you. You too.
We'll be back shortly with more Tech It Out when we speak with ExpressVPN. Stay with us. We'll be right back on Tech It Out on the Radio America Network.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, which is powered by ASUS, the title sponsor on this program, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. Visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio for those in search of incredible. How private is your web browsing session? Not very. In fact, even if you opt for your browser's private browsing mode or incognito mode or whatever it's called, yes, it can scrub your history and passwords and such, but your online activity is still visible and saved and could be possibly shared or sold. To truly remain anonymous while you browse, you should opt for what's called a VPN or virtual private network. Joining us on the line to discuss is Harold Lee from ExpressVPN. Welcome, Harold, to the show, and thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Sure. So let's start right from the top. What is a VPN or a virtual private network exactly?
Sure. A VPN is an important tool for protecting your privacy and security online. And I think there's really two key ways that it helps, the average computer user. One is that it channels all your internet traffic through a secure encrypted tunnel, which means that other people who might have access to the network, such as your internet provider or other people who are sharing the same public Wi-Fi as you,
right.
It prevents them from being able to see what you're doing online. And also because the secure internet traffic goes through a tunnel that goes through one of a VPN servers. Previously, your traffic, which appeared to be coming from your IP address, is now coming from the VPN server's IP address. So it's harder for people to trace that internet traffic online back to you because it doesn't look like it's coming from your IP address anymore.
Okay, so a VPN, generally speaking, can mask your online identity and let you browse the web anonymously. But some may say, well, why do I need that? Why do I care if my ISP, my internet service provider, sees where I'm going online, or Facebook or what have you? What's the appeal of remaining anonymous if you're not doing anything wrong, for example?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I think it's one of the core tenets that we believe at ExpressVPN is that your privacy is a fundamental right. You don't have to be doing something wrong or have something to hide,
right,
in order to want to not have your internet provider see your entire browsing history or not want people on the same Wi-Fi network to be able to do that. So, I think part of it is privacy and part of it is security. There are things we handle online, today that are very sensitive, whether it's financial transactions or medical information. And, when you're not properly encrypting the connection, whether it's through a VPN or with HTTPS, that information can be vulnerable to hackers and to internet providers and to spies.
Yeah, great point, Harold. Thank you. We're chatting with Harold Lee, Vice President of ExpressVPN. So with that in mind then, Harold, what makes ExpressVPN unique? Because, of course, there are many other VPN solutions out there.
That's a great question. There are a lot of things that we at ExpressVPN do to kind of step up the game in terms of how we protect your privacy and security. So I don't want to go through every single one of them because it's quite a long list, but there are a few things I think that stand out when you use ExpressVPN. One is that we just have a higher level of leak proofing. So the risk of information traveling outside of the protected tunnel that the VPN provides it is significantly improved,
right?
So that there's less risk there. We have a very strict privacy policy on our end to ensure that we're never collecting any information about what you do online, what times you connect to the VPN service, for example. So even if someone were able to access our servers, seize them, hack into them, for example, they wouldn't be able to see what you're doing online. And another important aspect I would say is that we have 24/7 live chat customer service, and it's very rare among VPN companies. And we always think, if a security tool is not easy to use, then people are not going to use it.
Right.
So it's very important to us that, the app is super easy to use. You tap one button and you get connected. You don't need to think about it anymore. And if you ever run into any problems, we've got a team ready to help you out in seconds rather than emailing someone and waiting for hours or days to get connected and get secured.
Going back to your first point, I've experienced with some free VPNs out there that it may work initially to connect, and it gives you an IP address from somewhere else, say in the US or another country. I've found that it has kicked me off of the VPN sort of mid-browsing session without me even knowing, and thus becoming exposed. And I noticed that with some of the free services out there, I guess you get what you pay for. So I'll ask you in a moment about how much ExpressVPN costs. But that has happened to me, I can tell you anecdotally, and I'm sure I'm not alone. So you're saying that it's a lot more of a secure, solid, more reliable connection once you're in that, as you called it, tunnel, so you can browse anonymously.
Absolutely. So not only is the connection itself more secure, also when you are disconnected, our apps on desktops will actually cut off all your network activity to ensure that no information is traveling without the VPN, without your knowledge. And you'll have to go in and either, actively decide to reconnect or actively decide to disconnect altogether before any network traffic gets through.
Speaking of desktops, is ExpressVPN strictly for Windows or Macs, or can you use it on mobile devices?
Yeah, you can actually use it on iOS devices, Android devices, in addition to Mac, Windows, and Linux. And we also have router support. And router support is great and is also quite a rare feature among VPN providers where you can just set up on your router. You don't need to worry about it every time you're connected to the router or any of your family members are connected. You know that they're protected by the VPN.
We'll continue our chat with ExpressVPN after this short break. You're listening to Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with Harold Lee, Vice President from ExpressVPN, about how to stay protected while browsing the web.
I wanted to mention that we actually have support for some other devices, which is not VPN support per se, but it's proxy support to help your streaming media devices connect to a different server in a different country, for example. So if you wanted to connect your Apple TV or your Xbox or PlayStation, Amazon Fire Stick to a different country to be able to access content that might not be able to be available in your country, you can do that as well with ExpressVPN.
And that's, of course, another popular application for VPNs is the ability to access content in another country. As if you were there, you just choose the IP address for the country you want to be from in order to access that content from that particular region. So I know a lot of people do that. For Canadians, for example, may want to access the US version of Netflix, so they'll use a VPN. I've heard Netflix is starting to catch up on that and, trying to prevent that for licensing purposes. But, I'm sure it still can be done. Walk us through how it works. So you mentioned router support. So that implies that the VPN is always on. But for most people I know, they like to turn on the VPN and off when they don't want to use it. So do you launch it? Do most people launch it before they open a browser window, or walk us through the process?
Sure, absolutely. Well, it depends on everyone's use case. Some people who are a bit more conscious about their privacy and anonymity online might have it on all the time. Some people might just turn it on when they're on public Wi-Fi, like at an airport or at a Starbucks or something. Mm-hmm. So it depends on a person. And I think one of the great things about our router app is that most routers involve, you going in and fiddling with some settings and having to download configuration files to set up a VPN. And ours is super simple. You go to the router's website, you click on and off, you can switch server locations, and it is easy to turn it on and off as you wish. You don't have to have it on all the time if you want. But if you're looking for better privacy and anonymity, I would suggest leaving it on all the time. Some people say they can't access their Gmail and other accounts when they're using a VPN. So they use it for a specific task, like say downloading something. But they don't want to keep it on all the time because their email provider doesn't like it because it can't identify where they are and they think it might be fraudulent activity. Is there an easy workaround for that? Sure. I would say the easy workaround is to use a reputable VPN provider that, is conscious of that problem and is always working to address it. So I think most people will find that when they're using ExpressVPN, they shouldn't have trouble accessing any of the sites that they normally use. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that it would vary based on the VPN you use. Yep, absolutely. I think it comes down to that VPN provider's ability to identify those types of problems, to address them quickly, and to make sure that the user never sees that perhaps a certain server or a certain set of IP addresses has been blocked by a certain website. Oh, cool. All right. Finally, Harold, how much does ExpressVPN cost and where could we download it? Sure. Yeah. So everyone can go to expressvpn.com to download it and to learn more. And the cost is, if you pay by year, it's approximately $8 a month. And if you pay by the month, it's about $12 a month. Okay, so there's a benefit for signing up for 12 months in advance. And for the mobile versions, like iPhone and Android and iPad and stuff, is it an app? Yes. So on Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android, it's an app that you can just download. And once you've downloaded it, you click one button to connect, and it's super simple. No need to fiddle with your network settings or configurations. We handle that all for you. Okay. And once you have a license to use it either by month or annually, is it just for one device or can you use it on more than one device? You can install on as many devices as you want, and you can connect to up to 5 devices at the same time. Oh, cool. So if you have a laptop and a desktop, you only need to pay that $8 a month per year, or it's $12 for month by month, and then you can install it on several devices. Oh, cool. All right, Harold Lee, Vice President from ExpressVPN. I appreciate your time and your information, and I hope you have a great summer. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Again, the website, expressvpn.com. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this late June edition of Tech It Out. Next weekend will be a special long weekend, 4th of July version of the program with 3 or 4 other guests as well. And I do want to take some time on these final moments of the show to thank ASUS one last time. Thank you for your support as title sponsor on Tech It Out. I couldn't do the show without you. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops, desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much more. They also have a gaming division called ROG, or Republic of Gamers.
For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. If you want to reach out to me, I'm at tech@marksaltzman.com, TECH@MARCSALTZMAN.com. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. Speak to you next time on Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.